Welcome to the CDO Magazine interview series. I'm your host, Tom Edwards. I'm the America's Consumer AI Leader at EY. And today I have the absolute pleasure of talking with Stefania Gvillo. She's the Chief Analytics and Insights Officer at Domino's Pizza. Welcome, Stefania.
Thank you, Tom. It's great to be here with you today.
Oh, it's such a pleasure to connect with you today. So, before we dive into all things data analytics and AI at Domino's, I would just love to hear a little bit more about your journey. Can you share a little bit about how you got your start in data and what's really led you to your current role?
Sure, I'd be happy to. So it started out way back. Actually, I was a brand management intern and I had just completed my final presentation. I was walking in the hallway and the VP of Analytics and Insights at the time stopped me in the hallway and said, "What are you doing in marketing?" And I thought, "Oh no, I thought my presentation went well. Maybe it didn't." And she said, "Why you need to be in analytics and insights." And the reason for that is you're always talking about data, you're always talking about the consumer. That is where you belong. Give me a year for an analytics role. And if you don't like it, I will personally find you a role back in marketing. I never looked back. So since then, I was in various CPG roles, always in analytics and insights. That is my passion. And to this day, I am so enthusiastic about just the journey that we've taken as an industry and how we've evolved and how we've really become decision drivers. So it's always been in analytics and insights, from being at Clorox to then being in the .com to then being at PepsiCo for 15 years, which never thought I'd stay at a company for 15 years, but it was just a movement. And as long as I'm being challenged and expanding and learning different things, I'm always up for the game. And then went to Mondelez, and currently I'm Chief Analytics and Insights Officer for Domino's Pizza. And in every role, I knew somebody. So my counsel to everybody is you never know who's watching, because in every single role, someone pulled me, a former colleague pulled me into that company. So it's really important that do great work, have great impact. You never know who's observing, which is always a great career lesson.
No, that's an incredible journey, and it sounds like you chose correctly. Because of how technology's evolved. You look at kind of consumer behavior, you look at the launch of the iPhone, you look at this kind of shift now towards personalization and everything that's happening. Data and analytics are at the core, especially now when we're talking about AI. And before we jump into AI, I just want to touch on your networking comment too. Such a critical advice for anybody in any specific field. Your network is incredibly important. I always, when I'm talking to new individuals, it's either who's your sponsor and who's your mentor who can help kind of
Mhm.
navigate those specific areas. So bringing it back to Domino's and AI, nothing has basically captivated the headlines like AI and generative AI, agentic, and all the things that have been happening over the past 24 months now. So understanding your data analytics background, how are you thinking about the integration of AI specifically at Domino's, and how's that really impacted your role?
Tremendously. It's been transformative. Many people think, "Oh, AI, it's hype. It's not something that we need to be worried about." But AI is here. So I've heard, "Oh, who owns AI?" No one owns AI. Who owns PowerPoint in an organization? Nobody owns PowerPoint. We all need to be leveraging it. It's a powerful tool. It's not the end all be all, but it's a powerful tool to increase productivity, increase efficiency, increase creativity, because then the savings you can use more strategically, right? So I think it's just so beneficial. And at Domino's, we've used AI for such a long time, way before I even started. And our tracker, our that was launched in 2008. And yes, it was rudimentary. It's not how we think about AI right now, but that was a real unlock in terms of just being able to predict how quickly your pizza order will be available for you to pick up or be delivered. And that was through the tracker. And since then, we leverage AI throughout the organization, whether it's where to build the next store, how does forecasting work? I can go on and on. But it is transformative because now it has the attention across the industry, definitely across different boards across the world. So it's not just Domino's, but it has the attention. And whether you believe it's hype or not, It is here to stay, and we need to really amplify our capabilities and know how to leverage
I
it.
love how you're focusing not only kind of within certain functions, you mentioned specifically around that, but you're also talking about transformation as a whole. And I found that as we've kind of gone over these past 24 months, there's been these different kind of evolutions from education to proof of concepts now to kind of end to end transformation, all the things that are kind of taking place. And it sounds like you're taking a very practical approach, obviously from a data and AI ready data perspective. And it sounds like from organizational perspective, you've been working with, machine learning, then we had the transform architecture come about. Now we're exploding into generative AI and all those things. And I just used the tracker this past week. It was perfect. It's
Okay.
so incredibly accurate. It's amazing. Um, One thing specifically with AI that I've never seen technologies that have been driven as bottoms up as I've seen, because we've seen this kind of just massive democratization of access to these specific tools, and there's an expectation. And there are different levels of understanding within an organization across employees. How is Domino's approaching kind of the upskilling of employees and the education around AI and the connectivity into adopting any of the specific technologies for them?
So during the pandemic, we were budget challenged and also we couldn't travel for obvious reasons. And so we decided let's bring the conference here so everyone can benefit from it. And the team hit it out of the park. We had lanyards, we invited external thought leaders, internal thought leaders. And it was really eye opening in terms of having dimensions across three verticals, whether it's business, leadership, and technology. And this is going to be our third year doing it. So it's really exciting. And that's how we also upskill our team members. And then it's more of the day to day. So we have something called data sci fi, where we really share codes and expertise across how do we leverage the tools that we already have and leveraging case best practices, as well as something called ARC. And that's where we review peer to peer codes, so you're not embarrassed to ask your boss or your boss's boss, but you have that safe space. We have the same thing for storytelling called Park, which is more focused on PowerPoint. ARC is focused more on the analytics side and the coding side. So there's various ways from the very formal training to more of the day to day, and then bite size in between. So we are very much a learning culture. We can always do more, but it's been very impactful in upskilling in these new areas.
Well, Stefania, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show today. Just thank you so much for sharing your insights and experiences with us. And just thank you again.
You're
And
welcome.
so
It's been fun. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
it's fantastic having you. And again, thank you again, Stefania. And please visit the cdomagazine.tech for additional interviews. Thank you so much. I'm Tom Edwards. Have a great day.